All right. So you've mastered all your chords. You've mastered all the arpeggios. You've mastered all the scales. You've mastered all the modes. You've mastered all of the theoretical constructs. Yet you still can't play jazz. All right. And so you say to yourself, wow, I did everything. I even paid somebody to teach me, to walk me through everything from pentatonics to bebop scales and things like that. Why don't I sound like Wes Montgomery? Why don't I sound like George Benson or Grant Green or anything like that? That's because, in my opinion, despite all of this stuff that's out there, a lot of that is an academic construct. It's lifting weights. It's a way for you to understand a theoretical construct of something. Okay, it is not the thing in and of itself. So, for example, you learn, say, a 2-5-1 chord progression, right? And so you've got this in the key of C, D minor 7 to G dominant 7 to C major 7. So a book or a teacher tells you that when you start improvising, you learn this, and you need to outline the chords. And the best way to outline the chord is to learn the arpeggio. So minor seventh arpeggio, one, flatted third, fifth, seven. Same thing, G7, 1, 3, 5, 7, and major 7, which is the 1 chord. So it sounds like this. Sounds nice, but that's not really jazz. That doesn't sound like Wes Montgomery, Pat Martino, or anybody like that. All right, so it's lifting weights. It's a practice that you do. So it's just an academic construct. Then you start hearing something like, okay, so they do this thing called chromaticism to it. So it might be for that 2 chord, and then that's for the 7th, and then for the major 7, you might do something like this. Okay, it's a little bit better. Got a little bit more spicing in and that kind of stuff. So, my point about all of this stuff is that you're not going to really learn jazz just by simply learning all your chords, learning all your arpeggios, learning all your scales, learning all your inversions. It's a lot. It hurts your brain, and you go through that process. But to me, this is analogous to like lifting weights for a sport. The sport itself is not weightlifting, although there is a sport called weightlifting. It's just basically building up your muscles, building up your endurance. Classic example I like to use is football. Football players squat, they bench press, they do speed drills. But on Sunday, that is not the game. The game is, can you catch the pig spin? Can you push a pig skin? Can you push somebody out of the way? All of that stuff. They don't put a bench on the 1 yard line and say, can you do 20? Can you do 25? There are many people that during the NFL Combine where they're testing this, they'll bench press 225 for I don't know 25 30 reps. And you never hear about them after that. They might even run a 4.27 40 and you like that. So that analogy, yeah. So you can be very very good at scales. You can be very good at knowing your modes. You can be very good at inversions and chords and things like that, and still not sound good. So, what is the secret to sounding good? I think the secret is actually listening a lot and emulating the people that got you interested in that. Because when you listen to, George Benson, or you listen to, Miles Davis, none of these people are telling you what they're doing is a mode, or like Miles Davis is modal play. You think Miles Davis was really thinking about modal playing when he was playing it from that level? I'm not saying he just did it. Miles is a Juilliard educated, man. So it's not that they don't know that. And Coltrane blew over all these complicated things and studied some classical, all that stuff. So it's not like they didn't have the intellectual acumen to kind of process the thing that way. All I'm saying is that that approach is really an academic construct. That to me, if I were to tell somebody one thing and one thing only, it would be to use your ears and to listen and to really look at melody before you go through all of this. This is good to learn the modes, the scales, and things like that. But for example, let's take some melody. So that's a children's song. The more we sing together, the happier it be. And then it's the key of C. I'm playing it, so it's C major scale. So to improvise off of that, I'm gonna use the melody as my foundation, as my construct, and it's gonna end up being more organic to me as opposed to trying to figure out the. So it goes. Nothing like that. So even when I got lost and it sounded like I was playing outside and I might have been out of key, I went back to the melody. So that's what I always stress with people. The first thing that you need to do, learn the chord changes, but really get the melody in several places. I only played in one place on the guitar, and that's going to help your improvisation a lot better, a lot more. So at the end of the day, we're all going to go through it, and we're all going to have a process for things. But I believe that all of that stuff, modes, is just a way for the Berkeleys of the world, the North Texas states, even the Juilliards and the Harvard and the BU. It's an academic construct. It's a way that they said that they can teach people and they can teach them to play that way. But what ends up happening at the end of the day, if everybody learned that way, we would all sound exactly alike because we would be playing the same old tired 1, 3 flatted third and seventh over every chord. And you'd be playing over chords. You wouldn't be playing melody. So what good is outlining chord changes if you don't know the melody? Okay? I couldn't tell you how many times I've been in a jazz club and I've seen some great, great musicians and they were improvising, but other people are turning to me. They have no idea what that song is. Okay? Until you go to the head of, say, So What. You don't know what somebody's playing, the average listener. So anyway, get the melody under the tip of your fingers. Yeah, practice some of those things called chords, scales, arpeggios. I'm not trying to say don't do them. I'm just saying that be careful and don't fall in the rut that even though you do these things, you still can't play jazz. That's because you're not listening to the literature and you're not following the melody. Once you do that, you're going to see some tremendous gains in your playing. Thank you for watching and sorry for the rant. Practice, practice, practice.